This is actually my third Transpac. I've done it twice before on an Andrews 40. That was a remarkable boat. We did really, really well in a lot of races, and we optimized that boat, had a lot of success with it, and decided to take it up a scale in terms of this Curve 51. You know, it's a dream come true for me to do this. Well, I fell in love with it when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. As a kid on the East Coast, I would watch it for years. The boats were somewhat famous to me, and now to come out and do this, it's it's a challenge, there's a lot of romance, other than I got a bunch of guys on the boat, but it's wonderful to fly in or sail into Hawaii, to come into warmer climates. It's just every dream come true for a sailor to sail fast and sail into warm climates. The boat is new for us essentially the beginning of 2020. Of course, with the COVID experience, we haven't done that much sailing. So even though I've had the boat for a year and a half now, you probably have maybe more of a normal 3 or 6 months type of sailing on the boat. So we've done a lot of sailing during the week in the last few months, a lot of efforts like that. We also start with a really pretty spectacular group of people on the boat. So it's not a matter of crew skill, it's a matter of crew coordination and learning the boat and understanding what the boat can do. So we're going to try something different this year. We normally have a cadence of like 4 man on, 4 off, something like that, in terms of men going down and maybe 3 or 4 hours off. In this case here, we're going to rotate every 2 hours. We actually only have 10 people on the boat, which is pretty lean, and the navigator will float. That leaves us with 9 people, so you have to come up with a unique system to take care of that. So as a general rule, we'll rotate 2 at a time. Sometimes it'll just be 1 person, but it essentially will be just 2 people rotating through every 2 hours. Well, we're hoping to have a sub 8-day race, hopefully 7 to 7.5 days, but that has to do with what the wind gods will give us. But the boat's capable of doing that, so we're hoping for good breeze. There's a Pacific High that all the competitors know about that sits over there. The question is how you play that and how you get off the coast in terms of the back eddy that we have here in terms of the slower breeze. So a key issue is to get off the coast as quickly as possible. The first boats off will get into the stronger breeze early. And then the question is, how do you play the high? How close do you go to the high? When do you jive for Hawaii? So it's a complicated game, and that decision starts with a general game plan, but we'll be revising that plan as we go along on the race. Hello Fast Exit race fans. It's Wednesday, July 21st at 11:15. We're nearing the end of day 4 on Transpac. We just passed the halfway point about 8 o'clock this morning. So Mike is doing a great job steering right now. You can see the weather conditions. Attending Spinnaker, Tom O'Keefe. Fermin is doing the main, and Steve is picking up everybody's slack. Working the heck out of himself. Right. That was a little bit more speed on. It's doing 20 knots right now. 19.
We had a great race. It was a very, very fast race. Boats like my boat, the Cur 51, like the Pac 52s and others, are very fast boats. They're full-on beasts, and so the boat was a real exercise, real athletic effort to sail it to Hawaii. We had a lot of problems actually on the race. Well, we had a dramatic start in the sense that we were late to the start by about 10 minutes, and so we tried to play catch up the whole race. We had a lot of problems because boats like this have a lot of leakage points. But the worst case, which we didn't understand, was that water runs down the deck and with a big froth, including going over the wheels that are driving the boat. And in the center of the pedestal, which is about, 3 feet up in the air, is the vent that goes into the diesel tank. And the problem we had was that we didn't understand that was slowly filling the diesel tank with salt water. We went to turn on our diesel in the evening just to charge our batteries as we normally would, and they wouldn't start. So we had 4 guys working till 3 o'clock in the morning, taking apart the entire fuel line and going back to the fuel tank and going through fuel filters and other things to get all the water out of the system so we could finally get it started. I would say if we could have had a problem, we probably had it. Yeah, we're actually coming in the Molokai, we were doing 22 knots and we went down a big wave. We stuffed it down, the boat stopped, and it blew our brand new spinnaker up that we'd only opened the day of the start of the Transpac race. It exploded that sail, so we blew that up, and here we are. Yeah, the race is a dramatic one. The first few days are actually quite uncomfortable because you're going fast, and the boats like this go fast almost all the time. It's cold because where you are at that time of year, the wind's in your face. We're getting a lot of spray. And at that point, it's not such a great thing. But by the time you get to the end, a lot of great things are going on. Now you're thinking, what can I do to make it better next time? Well, we'll plug all the leaks. We're going to do this. We'll do that, etc. So the answer is, I'm already starting to think ahead before we even finished. What do I do to get to the next race?